let's take a look at Colvin versus Bradley. Bradley in the blue, Colvin in the red. I got to tell you about Hunter Colvin. Hunter Colvin is in this. I have some friends at Flow Grappling that said, hey, Chael, we work with Hunter Colvin all the time. This guy's the real deal, and he wants it. Well, the tournament was full. We didn't have an opportunity. In fact, Max, who I was just talking about, was in this spot. Hunter Colvin formed an online petition and got over 1,000 signatures, took that to matchmaker Heather Standing, who you guys know as Boss Lady, demanding that he take Max's spot. How do you turn that down? Fair question. I'm asking you a real question. How do you say no to a guy that got an online community of over 1,000 digital signatures saying that he should be in this tournament? Apparently you don't, because he's on top right now in side control. Bradley on bottom, clinging a little bit to hopes of a guillotine. Lets the guillotine hope go. Comes now to a bit of a butterfly guard. Oh, look what Bradley's doing, posting on the hip. Colvin on top, Bradley on bottom. Colvin pushing him into the fence. Now, that's a risky game. You push a guy into the fence, that fence will work as a tag team partner if you know how to use it correctly. But when you walk a guy over, it also gives, in this case, Bradley, the bottom man, an opportunity to start to posture up. That was one of Michael Bisping's number one escapes, is he would let an opponent push him to the fence, and just before they got to it, Bisping would put his shoulder blades on the fence and do what's called a wall walk. Okay, Bradley going around and around. Colvin takes his back. Colvin going to look for an armbar here. Bradley better come on top. Colvin's going to find an armbar, at least a catch. He's in the catch. Bradley is not defending this quite textbook. You would generally want to bring your body as close to Colvin's face as you can. You really want to cramp down on him there. Bradley must feel, maybe I'm missing an angle here. It sure looks like his arm's stuck in there. And Bradley is not crowding. And there's another way to defend it. You can stand up like Bradley's doing and then look for the right moment and yank that arm out. But generally when it's this deep, you want to crowd. Colvin starting to rotate off the cage there. Bradley did it. Bradley felt the right moment and yanked that arm out. That's a great defense what Bradley just did. I'm aware that it worked here. The reason it surprised me that he was trying it is because of the conditions today, these guys are not allowed to go without the rash guard. With the rash guard, essentially it's essentially the same thing as having a gi on, meaning you're just not very slippery. So Bradley's technique of standing up and trying to yank that arm through was extra dangerous. Apparently Bradley knew what he was doing. The cage becomes a very interesting apparatus, by the way. What's the good news? Well, if the guy is in a takedown attempt, by example, and he tries to run you off the competitive surface, you're not going to fall into the crowd or fall 3 or 4 feet down. The bad news, it does stop you. It does change things. You do have to have a strategy on how you're going to use it. Are you going to use it offensively like Khabib does? Are you going to use it defensively like Anderson Silva does? Or is it going to be an obstruction that's in your way because you didn't take the time to prepare for it? And you don't have to have a practice room with a cage in it, by the way. You can get the same effect with a wall, with wall training. It could be a nice, smooth, padded mat. But you still need to work against it, because if you do not know how, it will work against you. All right. Bradley now looking to get some offense going. Bradley's very flexible. Yeah, I'm noticing about Bradley. He is very flexible. Something tells me if he gets into the overtime, he's going to be pretty hard to finish. We got less than 50 seconds. Bradley pulling him off that face. Bradley is very composed, guys. He was on bottom for a meaningful period of time. Caught in two different, had his back taken, had his arm almost extended, and now he's on top with the ever popular Hunter Colvin on the bottom. Bradley has conserved himself. 25 seconds to go. So many people want matches ended in regulation. sure, we all understand that. I got no problem with that, but I got no problem with the overtime. I like to see those strategies. I like to see those compromising positions where a very clear advantage is given. And that's where you really start to see the advancements in the defensive techniques. All right, Dave Hagan showing him the coin. He's going to flip. What's coming up? Red on one side, blue on the other.
Okay. Sir, he's going to defer and let you go first. What position do you want?
Colvin won, but Colvin deferred.
Right arm.
Bradley is going to go into an arm technique. He's chosen the right arm. Notice how Bradley has one arm secured. That will be the same for all athletes. One arm you can entangle. The other arm must be free. You can set that on the mat. You can put that on your head. You can tuck that in your pants for all it mattered. But you can only hold one arm on his arm until the referee says go. I like Colvin's defense here. Look what Colvin's doing. He's getting those legs involved. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Bradley just brought his leg back over the top. Boy, Bradley's flexible. Now he's transitioning into a triangle. Bradley's a problem. This guy is good. He really is. Bradley's done some very interesting things. Colvin is out. Colvin is out, but not because Bradley wasn't going for it. Bradley reminds me of Richie Martinez, who I know is at home watching. That could be a good match down the road. How'd you guys like to see Adam Bradley take on Richie Martinez? All right, Colvin's turn on top. Bradley doing a good job with wrist control, but he's going to have to turn those hips. The wrist control will stop the choke, which is one of the oh, Colvin's got this tight. Colvin had that tight. Wow. That was a fantastic match. And Colvin, in case you guys have missed it, just drew in to Gilberto Jimenez. That is going to be coming up. The quarterfinals have come to conclusion. We are going to go through the semis, guys. We are going to go through the semis before we get to the super fights. Let's throw this to Kevin Keeney and make this official.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner by submission, 16 seconds into the bottom half of overtime round number 1, Hunter Colvin.